Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi meets External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval in New Delhi. Senior BJP leader Yogi Adityanath to be sworn in as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for second consecutive term this afternoon. Rajya Sabha witnesses adjournment over Birbhum killings in West Bengal. Delhi Municipal Corporation Amendment Bill 2022 introduced in Lok Sabha. President Ramnath Kovind awards President's Colour to INS Valsura in Gujarat. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to embark on 3-day visit to Dubai from tomorrow to visit Media and Entertainment Fortnight at India Pavilion at Expo 2020, Dubai. In cricket, 15th edition of Indian Premier League begins tomorrow. Long jumper Someshwara Rao Ramudri and javelin thrower Mohit bagged gold medals at World Para Athletics Grand Prix in Dubai. And in Swiss Open Badminton, Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu, Kidambi Shrikant and Parupalli Kashyap to be in action in quarterfinals at Basel today. As we start the bulletin, we appeal to our listeners to stay safe from COVID-19 by following these 4 simple steps. Get fully vaccinated, wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi today met External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in New Delhi. Both leaders are currently holding talks at Hyderabad House. Earlier, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval held talks with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in New Delhi this morning. The two sides discussed the need to take forward early and complete disengagement in remaining areas in eastern Ladakh and remove impediments to allow the bilateral relationship to take its natural course. Sources said during the meeting in New Delhi, the two sides agreed that the continuation of the present situation is not in mutual interest, and the restoration of peace and tranquility will help build mutual trust and create an enabling environment for progress in relations. They also stressed the need to continue positive interactions at diplomatic and military levels for restoration of peace and tranquility, which is a prerequisite for normalization. The two sides agreed to work in the same direction and resolve outstanding issues as quickly as possible. During the meeting, the Chinese side invited NSA to visit China to take forward the mandate of special representatives. The NSA responded positively to the invitation and stated that he could visit after immediate issues are resolved successfully. The visiting Chinese Foreign Minister also met External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. Senior BJP leader Yogi Adityanath will be sworn in as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for the second consecutive term today. The swearing-in ceremony will be held at Atal Bihari Vajpayee Khana Cricket Stadium at 4 p.m. in Lucknow. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
A new political history will be written in Ikana Stadium of Lucknow this afternoon with the swearing-in of Yogi Adityanath as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, and thousands of dignitaries along with common BJP workers will witness this movement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister and local MP Rajnath Singh, BJP President JP Nadda, Chief Ministers of BJP-ruled states will attend the mega ceremony being held in Ikana Stadium. The venue has the capacity to accommodate around 50,000 people. BJP workers from every district of a state will participate in the function. Administration has made elaborate arrangements for the gathering. The ceremony will be live telecasted at all Panchayat Bhavans in state. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Earlier yesterday, Yogi Adityanath was elected the leader of the BJP Legislature Party in UP. The Legislative Party meeting was attended by Home Minister Amit Shah among other leaders. BJP-led alliance had won 273 of 403 seats in the recent assembly polls.
Rajya Sabha witnessed adjournment amid sloganeering between BJP and Trinamool Congress members of the issue of violence in Birbhum district of West Bengal. During the 0 hour, BJP MP Rupa Ganguly raised the issue demanding to impose president's rule in the state. Afterwards, sloganeering started between the members of Trinamool Congress and the BJP. Members of TMC trooped into the well and started sloganeering against the government. Amid the pandemonium, Deputy Chairman Harivansh tried to run the House but in vain. As the noisy scene continued, Mr. Harivansh adjourned the House till 12:10 p.m. Minister of State for Home Nityananda Rai said the Delhi Municipal Corporation Amendment Bill 2022 is in no way a violation of the provisions in the Constitution. Mr. Rai, introducing the bill in the Lok Sabha, said it is in favor of citizens of Delhi.
मैं माननीय गृह मंत्री श्री अमित शाह जी की ओर से प्रस्ताव करता हूं कि दिल्ली नगर निगम अधिनियम 1957 का और संशोधन करने वाले विधेयक को पुनः स्थापित करने की अनुमति दी जाए.
N.K. Premachandran of the RSP and Gaurav Gogoi of the Congress opposed the introduction of the bill. Mr. Manish Tiwari of the Congress also said that the House does not have the legislative competence to enact this bill, opposing the introduction of the bill.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has moved the Finance Bill 2022 for consideration and passage in the Lok Sabha. Initiating the debate, Gaurav Gogoi of Congress said the country is recovering from the pandemic, but the recovery is unequal. Nishikant Dubey of BJP said no economy in the world has escaped from the problems that came from the pandemic and congratulated the Finance Minister on the bill. Discussion is underway. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh reiterated that the government will continue to support the indigenous production and defence equipment under the Atmanirbhar scheme. Replying to a question in the Lok Sabha today, the minister said 68% of the budget is allocated for defence.
जो हमारा जो कैपिटल बजट है उसमें हम लोगों ने निर्धारित कर दिया है कि उसका 68% जो है केवल डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्शन पर खर्च किया जाएगा. यह फैसला हमारी सरकार ने किया है और जो रेस्ट अमाउंट जो बचता है उसे आवश्यकता पड़ी तो एक्सपोर्ट करेंगे. और लगभग 309 ऐसे आइटम्स जिनके बारे में हमने ये डिसीजन लिया है कि हम किसी भी सूरत में एक टाइम लिमिट निर्धारित की है. कुछ 24 के बाद, कुछ 25, 26, इसके बाद किसी भी सूरत में हम उसको एक्सपोर्ट नहीं करेंगे, बल्कि भारत में ही पूरी तरह से इंडिजिनस तरीके से वो सब सारे आइटम्स तैयार होंगे.
Mr. Singh said the overall trend in defence spending is based on defence capability development requirements and the expenditure on defence services, including modernisation. The Minister of State for Defence Ajay Bhatt told that the country has ranked third in the world in terms of defence expenditure. He said there was no shortage of finances to modernise the defence forces.
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla today said that the Indian system of voting was admired by many countries. Replying to a question in the Lok Sabha, he said India was the biggest and the largest democracy in the world and crores of voters in the country should be complimented for exercising their rights in the democracy.
इलेक्टोरल वोटिंग मशीन पे कोई सवाल नहीं उठना चाहिए और इन्फ्लुएंसेस भी मैं नहीं करना चाहता हूं. लेकिन
एक बात, मैं पूरे विश्व के कई देशों में गया हूं और मैं कह सकता हूं कि दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा लोकतंत्र हमारा है और देश में 17 आम चुनाव के अंदर जिस तरीके से चुनाव आयोग करोड़ों लोगों का मतदान सिस्टम कराता है, ये कम से कम भारत के लोकतंत्र को विशेष रूप से बधाई देना चाहिए. इतना बड़ा सिस्टम डेवलप करना मैंने वर्ल्ड में कहीं नहीं देखा डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम में.
Law and Justice Minister Kiran Rijiju, replying to a question in the Lok Sabha, told that officials of the Election Commission of India were invited to other countries for providing training on electoral process. He said that India was proud to have one of the world's best systems of voting. Mr. Rijiju also informed the House that the government is not considering to enact any law to enforce compulsory voting in the country.
ये सबका प्रयास है कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग वोटिंग प्रोसेस में हिस्सा लें. ज्यादा वोटिंग परसेंटेज होगा, ये हेल्दी डेमोक्रेसी का साइन है. पूरे दुनिया में इलेक्शन और इलेक्शन प्रोसेस के लिए हिंदुस्तान में लोग सीखने के लिए भी आते हैं और हिंदुस्तान लोगों को बुलाते भी है. हमारा इलेक्शन कमीशन की टीम विदेश में जाते हैं, यूएन की तरफ से इन्विटेशन आता है. तो इंडियन इलेक्शन सिस्टम हैज बीन रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बाय द वर्ल्ड वाइड as one of the best systems in terms of conducting the election.
The government has set a target to open 10,500 Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Kendras PMBJKs across the country. In a written reply in the Lok Sabha, the Minister of State for Chemicals and Fertilizers, Bhagwant Khuba, said about 8,689 PMBJKs have been opened covering all districts of the country. He said around 1.25 to 1.50 crore people on an average purchase medicines from more than 8,600 PMBJKs in a month across the country. The price of Jan Aushadhi medicines is cheaper at least by 50% and in some cases by 80 to 90% of the market prices of branded medicines.
The Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Bharti Praveen Pawar, today informed the Lok Sabha that a total of 9.11 crore vaccine doses have been administered to the age group of 15 to 18 years. In a written reply, Dr. Pawar said adequate COVID-19 vaccines are made available to the states and union territories to administer precaution doses for adults and vaccination of children who are 12 years and above. The Minister said in the current financial year, 35,000 crore rupees is provided over and above budgetary allocation of public health for procurement of COVID-19 vaccine under the National COVID-19 Vaccination Program for free supply of COVID-19 vaccines to the states and union territories. Ayush Minister Sarbananda Sonowal has said that consistent efforts have been taken by the government to tap the potential in Ayurveda. Replying to a question in the Lok Sabha, he said the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, through the implementation of Vandan Yojana, has been taking massive efforts to identify and collect medicinal herbs in the forest and rural areas. He said 242 medicinal species have particularly been promoted. He said that University of Ayurveda will be established if there is a proposal from respective state governments. Mr. Sonowal said Ayush Ministry has approved for upgradation of 1,000 Ayush dispensaries into Ayush Health and Wellness Centres in 2020-21 and 2021-22.
Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan today asserted that Indians abroad, whether they are fishermen, students, labourers, their security and safety has been of utmost importance. He said barring the 16 who were arrested recently, the government has brought back every fisherman and that the government continues to engage with Sri Lankan authorities. Replying to supplementaries in Lok Sabha, he also cited that recently government brought back students from Ukraine.
The government of Modi ji has always been making efforts for the safety and security of Indians wherever they are. And Indians abroad, whether they are fishermen, whether they are students, whether they are laborers, their safety and security has been of utmost importance. Very recently we brought back 22,500 students from Ukraine in the war-torn area. And this is not a fishermen of Tamil Nadu who have been taken into custody by the Sri Lankan authorities. Government has been engaging with the Sri Lankan government, and every year, whatever the number that has been given, 74 were arrested, were taken into custody in 2020. We have been able to bring back every Indian fisherman who have been taken into custody by the Sri Lankan authorities.
The next session of the Tamil Nadu State Legislative Assembly begins on the 6th of next month. Addressing reporters in Chennai this morning, Speaker M. Appavu said the demand for grants for various departments would be taken up for discussion and passing during the session. He said the House Business Advisory Committee will meet on the 30th of this month to decide on the duration of the session, adding question hour will be there on all the days.
President Ramnath Kovind awarded the prestigious President's Colour to Indian naval ship INS Valsura in Jamnagar, Gujarat this morning. The President's Colour is bestowed on a military unit in recognition of exceptional service rendered to the nation, both in peace and in war. Speaking on the occasion, President Kovind said that as the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces, it was a moment of immense satisfaction and pride for him. He said INS Valsura has reached a history of professional excellence and it has discharged its responsibility with distinction.
I am pleased to be here with you all today on this momentous occasion to present the President's Colour to INS Valsura. I congratulate the Indian Navy and in particular the officers and sailors of INS Valsura for achieving this remarkable feat. I also congratulate you for an excellent parade, immaculate turnout and high standard of drill and discipline.
To mark the occasion, a ceremonial parade was held and 150 men Guard of Honour was presented to the President. Union Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia today assured that the government will be a constructive collaborator with all stakeholders of the aviation sector to work together for the development of civil aviation in the country. Speaking after formally inaugurating the 5th edition of Wings India 2022 at Begumpet Airport in Hyderabad, the minister said India emerged as the fastest growing sector and is ready to face challenges and take opportunities. He said,
every direct employment in the area of civil aviation creates 6.1 indirect jobs. And therefore both in terms of output and in terms of employment, it would not be wrong for me to say that this is probably one of the largest employment and output generating sectors in the economy in the world.
The minister said the sector is going to restore its passenger level to the pre-COVID level very soon, stating that the Prime Minister's Gati Shakti twin-pronged strategy to give impetus to all kinds of infrastructure. He said about 80 new airports will be added by 2024-25 in the country. Emphasizing the need to increase the connectivity in the country, Mr. Scindia said last-mile connectivity should be strengthened so that the common man should be able to fly.
Minister for Mines Prahlad Joshi has urged the Geological Survey of India GSI to reduce the time taken in completing field survey and submission of reports on potential mineral resource deposits in the country. The minister asked GSI to complete survey and preparation of report in a year's time using latest technologies. Addressing the 61st meeting of the Central Geological Programming Board CGPB in New Delhi yesterday, Mr. Joshi said GSI, having a legacy of 175 years of existence as a prestigious institution, is expected to contribute to the recent efforts of the Ministry of Mines to attain self-sufficiency in mineral resources. He said efforts of GSI and the private sector can contribute considerably towards this. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar meets Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in New Delhi. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval also hold talks with Chinese Foreign Minister, discusses need to take forward early and complete disengagement in remaining areas in eastern Ladakh. Senior BJP leader Yogi Adityanath to be sworn in as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for the second consecutive term this afternoon. Rajya Sabha witnesses adjournment over Birbhum killings in West Bengal. Delhi Municipal Corporation Amendment Bill 2022 introduced in Lok Sabha. President Ramnath Kovind awards President's Colour to INS Valsura in Gujarat. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to embark on a 3-day visit to Dubai from tomorrow to visit Media and Entertainment Fortnight at India Pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai. In cricket, 15th edition of the Indian Premier League begins tomorrow. Long jumper Someshwara Rao, Ramudri and javelin thrower Mohit bagged gold medals at World Para Athletics Grand Prix in Dubai. And in Swiss Open Badminton, Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu, Kidambi Shrikant and Parupalli Kashyap to be in action in the quarterfinals at Basel today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
We remember the Gandhian and freedom fighter Usha Mehta, who was born on the 25th of March 1920 at Surat.
From a young age, she found herself to be an active participant in the fight against British rule. In 1928, at the age of 8, she took part in her first protest against the Simon Commission. As a young child, she would protest in front of liquor shops and secretly distribute various publications. During the salt satyagraha, she would bring seawater to her home and produce salt out of that.
In 1939, Usha Mehta completed her graduation from Wilson College, Bombay, and began to prepare to study law. However, with the announcement of the Quit India movement in 1942, she decided to halt her studies and join the freedom struggle.
In the 1942 Congress session, Usha Mehta was privy to the powerful speeches given by Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Azad and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. This gave her the impetus to organize a secret radio station and help deliver the Indian perspective to the remotest corners of the world.
On the 14th of August 1942, Dr. Usha, along with her associates, launched the first announcement of Congress Radio. In this show, she delivered the news bulletin in both English and Hindi. The show would commence with the song Hindustan Hamara and close with Vande Mataram. Despite the strict vigil maintained by the British authorities, her station fearlessly reported the atrocities committed by the British.
To remain underground, they needed to frequently change their positions so as to remain hidden from the British radar. During the Quit India movement, they had to change around 7 to 8 stations. On the 12th of November 1942, as they were hosting a show from Girgaon, the police arrested Usha Mehta along with her associates. She was sentenced to 4 years of rigorous imprisonment.
When she was released in 1946, she became the first political prisoner to be released in Bombay. When she was released, Dr. Usha said,
"I came back from the jail happy and proud because I had the satisfaction of carrying Bapu's message, do or die, and having contributed my humble mite to the cause of freedom."
On the 11th of August 2000, Usha Mehta passed away at the age of 80. Her zeal and enthusiasm to fight for her country is a true inspiration. We salute the daughter of the soil.
We also remember freedom fighter Vasantrao Lakangauda Patil. V.L. Patil was born on the 25th of March 1922 in Belgaum district of Karnataka.
Patil began his higher education at Rajaram College, Kolhapur, but was unable to complete his degree due to his involvement in the freedom movement. Vasantrao was instilled with the spirit of patriotism and social service by his teachers like Dr. M.R. Desai, Acharya Zavdekar, N.S. Hardikar and Barrister Khardekar. While in Kolhapur, Vasantrao came in contact with a radical freedom fighter Nana Patil, who further bolstered his decision to take part in the freedom struggle.
Under Nana's guidance, Vasantrao became actively involved in various activities in the surrounding regions. This led to the assassination of his younger brother Pratap Rao. Due to the grief of losing his only brother, Vasantrao left college in 1943 and plunged into the freedom struggle. As Vasantrao continued his activities with even more vigor against the British administration, he became one of the most wanted men in the region, leading to shoot-at-sight orders for him by the British administration.
Post-independence, V.L. Patil served as a Member of Parliament from 1962 to 1967. From 1969, he was elected to the Legislative Assembly of Karnataka multiple times and served as minister in various ministries till 1989.
He was awarded the Indira Gandhi Sadbhavna National Award in 2008 for the various social endeavours in his life.
V.L. Patil left for his heavenly abode on the 9th of December 2012. We salute the great nationalist.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today shared a booklet showcasing the interesting aspects of last month's Mann Ki Baat episode. The booklet has interviews of those who were featured in last month's program. This month's Mann Ki Baat program is scheduled at 11 a.m. on Sunday. It will be the 87th episode of the monthly radio program in which the Prime Minister will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of All India Radio and Doordarshan, AIR News website and News on AIR mobile app.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur will be on a 3-day visit to Dubai from tomorrow. Mr. Thakur is scheduled to visit the India Pavilion at Expo 2020 Dubai, which is hosting the Media and Entertainment Fortnight from the 18th of March. The pavilion is showcasing vast business and investment opportunities across India's media and entertainment industry to the global audience. Information and Broadcasting Secretary Apurva Chandra had inaugurated the fortnight at the India Pavilion on the 18th of this month. Over 182 crore 55 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far in the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 29 lakh 82,000 doses were administered yesterday. The recovery rate is currently at 98.75%. The Health Ministry today said that more than 184 crore 12 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and UTs so far through Centres Free of Cost channel and through direct state procurement category.
The Calcutta High Court today has ordered a CBI probe and has also sought a status report from the Central Probe Agency regarding West Bengal's Birbhum violence case. BJP has welcomed the Calcutta High Court's order for a CBI probe into the case of 8 people being burnt alive in West Bengal's Birbhum. In a tweet, Party General Secretary B.L. Santosh termed the order as a timely intervention by the judiciary. Talking to media outside Parliament, West Bengal BJP Chief Shukantu Majumdar said a CBI probe was necessary for an impartial inquiry into the incident.
हमारी मांग पहले से ही थी कि इस निष्पक्ष तरीके से जांच हो और इसलिए सीबीआई इंक्वायरी जरूरी थी और कोर्ट की महामान्य को अदालत की राय को हम स्वागत करते हैं, वी वेलकम इट एंड हम होप करते हैं कि इन फ्यूचर ये सीबीआई इंक्वायरी होने की वजह से जो लार्जर कॉन्स्पिरेसी में जुड़े हुए लोग हैं बीरभूम कांड में उन सबको सजा मिलेगी, क्योंकि हमें स्पेसिफिक इनपुट आया है। कुछ नेताओं ने पुलिस को फोन करके बोला था कि आप मत जाइए, अभी पहले 2 घर जल जाए दीजिए, उसके बाद आप जाइए। तो ये स्पेसिफिक इनपुट हमारे पास है। वो ये काम जिन नेताओं ने किया वो सबसे बड़े जिम्मेदार है।
Deputy Chief Minister and Finance Minister of Delhi Manish Sisodia today tabled Delhi Economic Survey 2021-22 during the ongoing budget session of the Delhi Assembly. The survey said the advanced estimate of gross state domestic product (GSDP) of Delhi at current prices during 2021-22 is 9,23,967 crore rupees, which recorded growth of 17.65% over the previous year.
The Indian Premier League returns to its biggest season tomorrow with a galaxy of top names and 2 new franchises expanding the world's richest cricket competition to 10 teams for its 15th edition. Crowds in the cricket-loving nation will initially at least be limited to 25% capacity as per COVID protocols, with group games restricted to 4 venues, 1 in Pune and 3 in Mumbai and Maharashtra. Chennai Super Kings are the defending champions and will open the season against Kolkata Knight Riders. Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu, Kidambi Shrikant, Aegis Prannoy, Parapolli Kashyap and Samir Verma will be in action in the quarterfinals of the Swiss Open Badminton Tournament at Basel in Switzerland today. Long jumper Someshwara Rao Ramudri and javelin thrower Mohit bagged gold medals in the individual events at the Dubai 2022 World Para Athletics Grand Prix yesterday. Overall, the Indian contingent won 6 medals on the day and set 2 Asian records. The inaugural function for the induction training of Indian Information Service 2021 batch officers was held at the Indian Institute of Mass Communication in New Delhi today. Addressing the trainees, Information and Broadcasting Secretary Apurva Chandra stressed on the need for effective public communication.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar meets Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in New Delhi. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval also holds talks with Chinese Foreign Minister, discusses need to take forward early and complete disengagement in remaining areas in eastern Ladakh. Senior BJP leader Yogi Adityanath to be sworn in as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for 2nd consecutive term this afternoon. Rajya Sabha witnesses adjournment over Birbhum killings in West Bengal. Delhi Municipal Corporation Amendment Bill 2022 introduced in Lok Sabha. President Ramnath Kovind awards President's colour to INS Valsura in Gujarat. INB Minister Anurag Singh Thakur to embark on 3-day visit to Dubai from tomorrow in cricket. 15th edition of Indian Premier League begins tomorrow. And with that, we end the midday news.